Hey, it is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful, empowered harmonizers. We are zooming in and focusing in on a great viewer question, and that is to talk a little bit more about being liberated, or what you might call being free, after you've been through a really, upsetting relationship or radical life change. How do you come to really feeling positive about it, and really reframing things so that you understand what liberation is or what freedom is, so you can maximize this change and this opportunity. They say that when one door closes, another opens. So we have to keep our eye on what is really the next open door for you. When it comes to feeling liberated, you have to understand really what I would call the latitude and the longitude of it. Meaning, understand what it means to broaden your perspective, as well as elevate your thinking and coming from a higher order of consciousness, your highest vibration, really your wisest self. Instead of deferring or defaulting your I am to the one that feels victimized, the one that feels life is a struggle, the one who's interpreting everything negatively or seeing things through dark glasses. We get a lot of viewer comments. The world is this, etc. We are not posting those comments. That is somebody's opinion. Life is great. And if you say make life great again, you're basically saying life is not great. It's a double entendre, I guess that's what you call it. So be very, 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 very careful with the tenets that you are living by and the I am that you are living by. If you are saying, make life great again, that means you don't feel that life is great. So you are going to always have a problem, because that is your feeling. That is your belief that you're expounding, extolling, or putting out there. And then you're going to receive that back in return. It is like a boomerang. So you have to really understand, now that we're in the midst of this situation, this pandemic is unprecedented, which means, people, no matter what profession, have not encountered this situation before at their front door. So whether you're a doctor, a lawyer, an Indian chief, a pharmacist, whether you're an interior designer, whether you're an architect, whether you're a business owner, everything is changing and we're in unprecedented times. You have to understand what is liberation and how can that assist you to feel less limited, and also sort of get out from under the dark cloud. Oftentimes that people feel is, creating this a downer situation for them, where they're disempowered, not taking action, not living a sort of a normal life. They're just sort of in a freeze or fawn position where they're just really not taking action. If you are in that, that can be indicative of, a post-traumatic stress syndrome or a complex PTSD. I would highly recommend you read Pete Walker's book, From Surviving to Thriving, Complex PTSD. And it's a heavy read, but it'll help you to identify a little bit more of these experiences within yourself, and understanding what's kind of not beneficial to you and what is, going to help build your lifestyle so that it is one of liberation and one that you're feeling active about. When we talk about the breadth of something, this is an opportunity to broaden your horizon. Realize it's not only you that's going through some radical change right now. Everybody, whether you're hearing from them or not, or seeing from them or not, life is presenting a radical change, which really requires everybody to make an adjustment. And if you look at the breadth of it, and you start to just suspend judgment, stop, just weighing yourself down with a lot of excessive judgment. This is terrible, this is miserable. You're speaking it into existence, so watch your language. Suspend judgment. Try to take a breather, a break from labeling things, where your inner sensor is just like on fire. Be willing to sort of unplug from that for a while. You're not going to you're not going to help yourself by just staying in the the murkiness of it. You need to be able to elevate beyond and step aside, literally, figuratively, philosophically, existentially. You need to kind of step out of the automatic process or the bad habits that have been weighing you down, because you have a role to be able to unhitch these from you, so you're not like a tow truck and just towing around your past. And acknowledge and validate that you are in a better place now. If you can compare yourself, your today, versus what you were 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, or 5 years ago, are you in a better place? Just give your honest feedback right now. And if you can, take a moment just to reflect on yourself. Maybe it's your health, your appearance, your finances, your lifestyle, your routine, your eating habits, your spending habits, your relational habits. Are you in a better place now? Yes, no, maybe so. Okay, then acknowledge and validate that. You need to sort of catch yourself and get through under the door of the internal censor. If you have been in a manipulative or controlling relationship, such as one that might have been experienced with someone who is a narcissist, a covert narcissist, a malignant narcissist, or a psychopath, to a certain degree, you might be acquiescing to their needs that it's taking your energy and your I am and sort of shrinking your world. So the broaden horizons, meaning, being able to be open-minded, open-hearted, seeing different avenues, different decision making, taking your life in a new but better or positive direction and level. Are you taking yourself up on that? Are you having inspiring thoughts? Are you finding yourself the solution and you just, I can't do it, you're just not taking on the mini challenge? If that's the case, then you have to say, wow, peace and harmony, I have been narrow-minding, my perspective. So you need to open it up and broaden it out. If so, then you are going to be missing a lot of the good stuff, the juice that life has to offer. You're shutting yourself down, shutting yourself in, not going places, not looking at things, not going anywhere, gaining weight, becoming less in shape. You're not smiling, you're not laughing, you're not getting the feel-good endorphins going. So you have to realize that there is a physiological and physical disempowerment that goes when you narrow yourself down too much and you're not broadening your choices, your perspective, and your horizon. And to really get there, you need to catch yourself in that internal censor mode, that constantly judging mode, which comes as a result of egoic relationships. Realize that a lot of the relationships with very ego-strong people will emphasize, kind of a judgment ongoing all the time. This is good, this is bad, constantly. So you need to get off that judgment train and ride the peace train. Wasn't there a great song, Get on the Peace Train? What was that, Natalie Merchant? I used to love her music, still do. Gosh, how much life has changed. Get onto some better music, some better images around you. What is surrounding you? And keeping that judgment in place. Be willing to take some action. Even if you can do 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 45 minutes of change, use like your recovery date to do these things. I talk about this a lot here on the channel. Using these tools and implementing them consistently will help you have an experiential change. Also, to feel more liberated and to stop judging things and to sort of get some distance away from your internal censor is to also become more and more aware of it and sensitive. Wow, and you'll see how you have these automatic processes that will launch into sort of a habit. Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill talks about this as an autonomic process, which means that it becomes just like breathing or your heartbeat. Your thoughts can become as automatic. but yet those can be negative habits, taking you away from the sphere of influence that could be better, for your life and supporting you in the proper direction. So realizing, especially now, things have got to change and you want to be on the change train. So getting at that higher order of thinking, the metacognition, thinking about what you're thinking about, and being there on a deliberate and causative basis, which means I'm going to take a moment of reflection. I'm going to take a moment of stillness. I'm going to take a moment of, and sort of have a rectitude of things within myself. And writing down your lessons learned and then the changes will help to solidify it on your journey. It's kind of like a personal souvenir. You say, oh, that's right, and then it jogs you back on course. You have to have these moments. You have to have these guideposts for yourself. You have to create the path. Turn right here. Look up here. Don't look down here. You need to be able to have these sort of, I would say sort of molding and shaping moments of your perspective so you can see things from a better and more conscientious and mindful view that will be very liberating for you and get you out from under the sledgehammer of judgment, or out from under the trap that's trying to keep you small, keep you blind, keeping you, dysfunctional. Get out of that phase. This is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today, and I hope that these videos do help. Please share, please subscribe, and please donate, for goodness sake, for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support. And using this higher order thinking is a habit. You have to nurture it. You have to support yourself. You have to speak this new change into existence. You have to speak it out with assertiveness, which means with a strong tone, which means, coming from that solar plexus, the I am, not coming from the cerebral, I am, it's I am. And saying that with fullness of being will be very liberating. So experience the fullness of your being more and more day by day as you move through this really craggy and oftentimes very difficult or dangerous part of the journey, where you're kind of needing to get a new foothold or get out from under a rut, which is kind of like keeping you down, almost like a tire that's spinning in mud, and it just gets deeper and deeper. You have to realize that if you're just spinning your wheels and not going anywhere, that will cause you feeling of restriction, constriction, feeling trapped, or feeling judged, and that is really the opposite of your empowerment. Have a beautiful day. Peace be with you. Peace and harmony.